Top 10 Best Shark Tank Pitches Ever. Since Shark Tank debuted in 2009, we've seen hundreds of entrepreneurs pitch their businesses to a panel of celebrity investors. While each shark may have their own method for evaluating whether a company is worth an investment, they all agree on the fundamentals of a great pitch. In the best pitches, entrepreneurs sell themselves as much as the product and are prepared to answer any question. The pitches are concise and exciting and make investors afraid they'll miss out on a major money-making opportunity if they don't make a deal. A great pitch is far from a guarantee of success, but it's one of the first hurdles to becoming the next hit company out of Shark Tank. In anticipation of the 7th season's premiere on September 25th, we've rounded up the best pitches in the show's history. Number 10. Simple Sugars. On Shark Tank, there's always a risk that a teenage or child entrepreneur has a distracting novelty factor. But Lonnie Lazari, who was 18 at the time of filming, was the real deal. She gave a thorough demonstration of her Simple Sugars line of skincare product and drew the sharks in by explaining how important it was for her to be a strong female entrepreneur. Moving personal story aside, Lazari outlined a clear plan for how she would use an investor's capital and guidance and didn't balk during a round of difficult questions. Cuban made a deal with her for $100,000 in return for 33% equity. Number 9. Mission Belt Co. Nate Hobsofel is a tremendous salesman. His company, Mission Belt Co., makes belts without holes and donates money to Kiva Microlending Fund for every belt sold. It's a neat idea, but not necessarily revolutionary. What got the sharks interested was his intense passion for the product and that they wouldn't need to spend money on a sales force because all they would need is him. John liked the quality of the product and, more importantly, he liked Hobsofel. He had invested $50,000 for 37.5% contingents on Hobsofel remaining the brand ambassador, which Hobsofel was more than happy to oblige. Number 8. 1031 Productions. Cuban has said that he becomes less receptive to a pitch as soon as someone walks in with a gimmick, but Melissa Carbone's cast of ghouls didn't stop him from investing $2 million for 20% equity in Carbone's horror attraction company 1031 Productions. The sharks love when entrepreneurs have their numbers down, and Carbone was ready to rattle off all of the performance and forecast data the investors wanted. Carbone shocked the sharks when she told them that she pulled in over $1 million a night during Halloween season for her premiere event in Los Angeles, and Cuban jumped at the opportunity to take the company national. Number 7. Cycloramic. Bruno Francois, creator of hands-free video app Cycloramic, showed the power of a flawless product demonstration, a feat that requires plenty of preparation. Francois was able to get all 5 sharks interested in his app by demonstrating how his patented technology uses an iPhone's vibrations to move it in a circle for the purpose of compiling a panoramic photograph. After impressing the investors, he agreed to a joint deal between Cuban and Grainer for $50,000 in exchange for 15% equity. The demo's polished production also made it one of the premier benefactors of the Shark Tank effect, earning it the top spot in the Apple App Store after the pitch debuted on television and racking up 7 million downloads in the 12 months following the episode. Number 6. Breathometer. Breathometer founder and CEO Charles Michael Yim was the first entrepreneur to get all 5 sharks in the tank to join in on a deal. When he saw that the investors started fighting with each other for a piece of his smartphone-operated breathalyzer, he calmly told them that regardless of what happened on Shark Tank, he was looking to raise $1 million in the next 2 months from angel investors and was happy to get more than one shark in on a deal. Cuban was initially reluctant to work with anyone, but Yim was able to orchestrate a conversation where the investors realized a bidding war would cause everyone to miss out. Cuban arranged to invest $500,000 for 15% equity, and John, O'Leary, Grainer, and Herjavec split another 15% for $125,000 each. Number 5. ZipZ Wine. ZipZ Wine chief consultant Andrew McMurray landed the biggest Shark Tank deal of the past 6 seasons when Kevin O'Leary agreed to invest $2.5 million in return for 10% equity. What's especially interesting is that the sharks started with a bias against McMurray simply because his company reminded him of another single-serving wine company, Copa di Vino, whose founder was the only person to decline an offer on 2 separate Shark Tank appearances. Number 4. Lumio. Max Gunawan, founder of foldable lamp company Lumio, nailed his pitch with such precision and confidence that all 5 sharks fought each other for a deal. He established himself as trustworthy, explaining how he spent 4 months living in a Chinese factory to ensure his products were kept to the standard of quality. He showed how an investor could add value to his company by using their resources to help him meet overwhelming demand, and he illustrated how an investor could make money off his rapidly growing company, which grew to $1 million in annual sales within 2 years. Gunawan walked away with a deal with Herjavec for $350,000 in exchange for 10% equity. Number 3. Bantam Bagels. Husband and wife team Nick and Elise Olesek left high-paying Wall Street jobs to pursue the excitement of building their own business. They launched stuffed bagel company Bantam Bagels in 2013 and entered the tank looking to turn a New York City outlet into a national business. Their pitch was noteworthy for having clearly outlined how the company's been successful thus far, what its deficiencies are, and how an investor's guidance and capital can overcome the weaknesses and turn it into a big success. They created that necessary fear of missing out. Lori Grainer, who built her career as the queen of QVC, saw the perfect opportunity for another home shopping hit. She got 25% of the company in exchange for a $275,000 investment. Number 2. Amazing Lights. Extravagant pitches filled with performances and props can make for great television, but often are used to hide deficiencies in a company. In the case of Amazing Lights, however, a giant cartoon headpiece and light show was used to demonstrate the company's unusual products, gloves with LED lights on the fingertips that have become increasingly popular at raves. Founder and CEO Brian Lim's pitch showed the importance of self-promotion when wooing investors. He was able to convince them that the $7 million in annual revenue he'd achieved for his 4-year company was due to his focus, passion, and long-term vision to crush the competition. Lim made a deal with Cuban and Damon John, with Cuban giving $650,000 for 5% and John taking licensing rights and a 20% commission. Number 1. BeatBox Beverages. BeatBox Beverages co-founders Brad Schultz, Amy Stedman, and Justin Fenchel entered the tank looking for $250,000 for 10% of their neon-colored boxed fruit wine company. After working through the details of how three built their business, Mark Cuban decided that the drink had the potential for viral growth among younger drinkers beyond their company's native Texas and offered $600,000 for a third of the company. Fenchel was grateful for the offer but said they hadn't prepared to give up so much of their company. Cuban asked for a counter. Without skipping a beat, Fenchel asked for $1 million in exchange for a third of their company. They shook hands on the deal. One of the most common reasons why entrepreneurs miss out on a deal on the show is when they become indecisive or anxious. The BeatBox Beverages team trusted each other and had prepared well enough that nothing caught them off guard, and that's how they ended up with an investment that's uncharacteristically large for the show. And there you have it, the top 10 best Shark Tank pitches ever. What was your favorite one? Feel free to let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can stay updated on our future uploads.